Hey everyone, it's Crypto, and I wanted to talk about something that I've been meaning to talk about for a little while since there's not too much as far as cryptocurrency news to share with you. So, namely, as you probably noticed in the title, I want to talk about two issues. One that more and more people are becoming aware of, that once I became aware of, kind of really made me very upset and very interested in the situation, looking into it a few years ago. Oh, well, quite a few years ago. But another one is something that less people are aware of, but is also, if not the same kind of issue, something even worse, which is fluoride toxicity and bromide poisoning. So your body, just a little overview, has all these little slots in it, receptors in your cells and your different organs, and different vitamins and minerals lock into these spots. For those of you that aren't aware so much about the human biology, lock into these different things that you intake, and they perform certain functions. So if vitamin D links up with calcium, it can enter your bones and make them stronger, for example. But your body has these receptors that are certain shapes, and different minerals can fit into these receptors and fake and look like other ones that your body really needs. So fluoride and bromide particularly tend to fill the spots that iodine or iodide, that's something that your body really needs, especially for healthy thyroid function, which helps with obesity, with diabetes, with weight gain, with irritation and anger, so many different things. Basically, these metals tend to be a little bit heavier, so they more easily displace the iodine that your body needs into these slots with something instead that's poisonous. So once bromide or fluoride fills these spots that your body really needs for iodine for your healthy function, instead iodine can't fill it anymore, because that slot's already taken out, so it looks for other slots, but those might be full as well. So the elimination half-life, for example, of bromide is about 12 days, 5 to 12 days. So half of it to leave the body once it enters you takes about 5 to 12 days, which is a really long time, especially if every single day you're intaking these. And you might think you're not, but the fact is most of us take it in on a daily basis, myself included. So fluoride is, the same one that is in your toothpaste, that's in your mouthwash, and that's in the water they put into us every single day, that is supposedly good to strengthen our enamel and to reduce cavities, and called one of the greatest scientific breakthroughs in the last 100 years. However, it's kind of a deception how this came to be, because it all relates to the corporate universe taking care of themselves and the bottom line, rather than actual person, including the government, since it's run by the corporate lobbyists, the people who help fund these things to take place. But in 1931, a gentleman, Mr. Mellon, funded research to see about the health benefits for teeth, particularly about fluoride, because the Aluminum Company of America, or Alcoa, ALCOA, had all this toxic byproduct, all this toxic waste. It was sodium fluoride, which is not naturally occurring like calcium fluoride. They had all this extra waste from making not toxic material, and they didn't know what to do with it, so they figured they could sell it to different cities and put it into the water by helping fund research as to how it's good for your teeth. So this Mr. Mellon became, he was related to the Federal Security Agency that overlooked the public health. So he got nominated to the head of that and the American Dental Association. So he supposedly maneuvered the findings, which actually proved that skeletal fluorosis, which is a condition that it cures when your body takes too much fluoride over time, that actually weakens and makes your bones brittle and white and clear and shatter, actually happens when you take too much fluoride over time. And it's also toxic because, as I said before, it takes in the slots that iodine fills in your body. But they needed to get rid of this sodium fluoride, so it was a sort of deception. So they began to sell it to cities that bought it up through saying that it was very good for your teeth. And a lot of people are very upset because these cities started pumping it into the water, into the people's water. So It's medication without consent is really what it is. They're medicating you with a prescription for the entire United States and many countries without your consent, which is something that is actually possibly toxic. It's actually toxic. And it binds to parts of your body like the pineal gland, the center eye, apparently. Some cultures think it is actually what lets you see into your spiritualness. So you become less spiritual as it becomes calcified or over time. But there's arguments toward and against that, so I can't argue that. What I can tell you is that sodium fluorosis is a real thing. And over time and over age, the more of it that fills your body, the more weak your bones actually become rather than stronger. And there's no link that intaking and swallowing fluoride actually strengthens your teeth either. So yet we drink it every day in everything, in the water you bathe in, it comes in through your body, it comes in through everywhere. So you're not just putting it topically and binding it to it, you're drinking it. It's not going through your bloodstream and ending up at your teeth, but it's touching pretty much everything else on the way, if that's the case, which is not good. And it's also linked to retardation, low levels of iodine, causing rickets. Low levels of iodine have been caused to have mental deficiencies, retardation in different populations in cities that have low levels of iodine or more levels of fluoride. Kids are linked to lower levels of IQ. Situations like that, it's a serious thing, and I don't think enough people are aware of it. More people are becoming aware of it, which is why you see that reverse osmosis is behind every reputable water bottle company. You don't want to get just drink water if you're shopping. You want to get, if you're going to be buying, that is, plastic water or bottled or whatever it is, you want to get something that's reverse osmosis. Generally you can get distilled, but distilled just takes away all of the element of the nutrients that you need, whereas if you get purified reverse osmosis water, purified water, you're keeping some of the electrolytes, things your body needs, while getting rid of the heavy metals like fluoride that your body does not need and is bad for you. So the best way to actually drink your water, especially, is to get a reverse osmosis water filter in your home installed. It's kind of expensive. You might need a plumber. There are temporary solutions. I bought a countertop one a few years ago on Amazon that filters, but it's kind of slow. You best want to keep your water in glass versus plastic, especially if you're buying plastic bottled water. It's not the best when plastic sits for a long period in warehouses. It actually slowly, over time, disintegrates into the water in very small amounts, but still hazardous amounts, which is why there's even an expiration date on water bottles, if you might have noticed, which is strange. You think, why does water expire? And it's really because it's bottled in plastic. That's why it expires, and it can be sitting in the heat in a truck. You never really know, and it's not good for you to drink that kind of water. You might even taste it in the water, even if it's purified. Also, you want to definitely call the water company that you're into, see they might be up by a radioactive power plant like Zephyr Hills or radioactivity nearby. They might not have changed their filters, especially if you're going to a nearby restaurant. Tap water is probably the worst case if you're not filtering it, because it can have many other things besides fluoride in it that are bad for you, that you'll taste. Fluoride has no taste, so if you think the water tastes good, that's not a sign that it doesn't have fluoride. Yeah, so that's the first major thing I want to talk about. I'll probably go into detail more on that in a future video. I believe in spreading awareness about health issues as well as just cryptocurrency. There's so many other things, and that's why I like having this channel as a personal kind of vlog, talk about things freely. I don't want to just trap myself in. I'm not a shill for cryptocurrency or for any particular coin or anything like that. I'm learning with the world and sharing what I think, and I like hearing what you guys think as well. So if you have any helpful links about fluoride, please post them below so others can find them. And hopefully with awareness we can help fund legislation to stop that and to give power back to different places like France and Germany, who have completely banned fluoride in the water. And that's such a move in the right direction. We're so behind in that regard in the United States, and I don't think our government truly cares about us. That's one of the reasons where I really stopped believing that the government cared about us when I was younger, because I realized that they allow this to happen, and there are countries that don't. And there are cities that are eliminating the United States such as Phoenix, that was looking into it. So that's a move in the right direction. And I think with awareness and making videos like this and more people talking about it, then people all over the world and all over the United States can help to stop this. I think it's an easy way for somebody to get voted into office, is to promise to eliminate this altogether. If any president had wanted that, I would know they really cared. Anyway, besides that, I wanted to talk about bromide. So that's something else that less people are aware of, which is something that they put into the bread. Oh, sorry. Side note, back to fluoride real quick. I wanted to mention that if you're eating food with iodized salt, that doesn't necessarily mean you're getting enough iodine. They only recommend that you take in 150 micrograms in the United States of iodine a day, which is nothing. That's just enough to stave off rickets when they said that. That's the minimum to stave off that terrible condition that was very common in the early 1900s. It's only enough to stop that. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help your body in reducing breast cancer. Iodine, taking iodine in once you have breast cancer, has been linked to actually stopping and reversing it in some matters. It's just interesting. It's an interesting thing to look at. But you want to take in more than that. Their Lugol solution as one of the things. It was one of the most prescribed medicines in all of history as well, modern history. Iodine, you put it, they still use that to cauterize wounds and for different things. There's a reason behind that. It helps to eliminate and kill infection. It's got a lot of good things, so look into that. You probably need more than 150 micrograms. In Japan, they eat a lot of seaweed and kelp, and they eat over 85% more iodine than Americans do, and they're healthier for it. Less diabetes, less weight, that's one of the things, less thyroid problems. So look into that. And so bromide is another thing, because bromide is a substance that they say that they put into bread, into flour, because it helps make it more pliable and to allow it to hang and hook better. But the fact is that bromide is like fluoride, another heavy metal that displaces iodine. And it's also very, very toxic, leading to something you think it'd be cool. It's called bromosis, but it's actually terrible. You can look up bromosis on Wikipedia and you'll find that it's linked to psychotic issues, to comas in the worst case, to mania, to sleeplessness, to irritability, to depression, to you name it. And it was actually very, very common issue to have, because there was a medicine that was prescribed that people drank 2.5 milligrams of daily, which is toxic. More than 1 milligram a day is toxic for you of bromide. And people were drinking this. So there were most of the admissions, 20% of admissions in psychiatric hospitals earlier in the century, in the 1900s of last century, was due to bromide poisoning. Isn't that crazy? And this is something that they put into bread. Every time you eat out, most flours you find are enriched with bromide, potassium bromide, which is terrible for you. It's really bad and toxic. And I don't care if my dough is more pliable. I just want a healthy piece of bread that's not gonna give me issues, that's not made with fluoridated tap water as well. This is a double whammy. Mountain Dew has a serious amount of bromide in it as well. It's used in a lot of plastics, so your car probably has bromide in it. We're exposed to it in industrial gardening uses. Bromide is everywhere, and it's something else that's very difficult to avoid, but you can eliminate if you look at the back of your bread. I went to Whole Foods, which is one of those organic kind of supermarkets. Really eating organic and healthy on the beach, Miami Beach where I live, is a big thing. So we have Fresh Market, Whole Foods, all these different supermarkets that are toward the savvy and the discerning, health conscious individual kind of markets for food and water and that kind of thing. And I happened to look upon the hot dog buns, and on the back, sure enough, it said unbromated flour. So the fact that that's even an ingredient and consideration, a lot of people wouldn't even think about bromated flour. You want to look into getting unbromated flour. Whether you have to make the dough at your house or find an organic place that doesn't use that, or buy Pepperidge Farms that is against bromide, I urge you. It's also legal in France and Germany, by the way, bromide. It's been legal since the 90s. In 2001, a lot of different countries are making it legal. In the United States, we seem to be behind the curve because we care more about the bottom line for certain companies' profits than the individual consumer. And it's the kind of thing that's dumbing us down, giving us more health issues, so we have to continue to buy more pharmaceutical, psychological drugs. And the people making money at the top, you can guarantee they're eating healthy. They are drinking unfluoridated reverse osmosis water because they can afford the more expensive filters, and they eat right. I mean, like I said, I work in a very high-end restaurant, and I served the high-level ups of pretty much every bank you've heard of leaders around the world and mayors. I've met many of them on a personal level, and they're the kind, most aware, intelligent people, and they stay intelligent because they eat right, they treat themselves right, and they are aware about certain issues that the average person is not. So I just hope to help spread a little more awareness here. I'm getting to work now, so I'm going to have to disperse. Let me see if I'm doing a good parking job here. And I wish you the best. I hope that you can continue to find information. Please share anything that you have, especially about bromide. There's not enough out there down below. And let me know your thoughts. I hope this was a helpful video. I know it's not cryptocurrency related, but I think everything is related, because if you're aware and the more intelligent you are, you find different ways to take care of yourself, the more you can make more informed decisions about cryptocurrency and be less of, be less easily led, if any way, by certain individuals, and just realize what's good for you and what's not, and who cares about you and who doesn't. So take care. Let me know what you think. Did try to stay away from the less conspiratorial things, such as how it's meant to be a mind control thing, that Hitler used it in his camps, because I'm not sure about that. He was the first one to use it to dumb down the different individuals that were locked up, and apparently it's a message of mind control. But there's all that, so I didn't want to mention any of that, but I try to stick to the facts. Let me know what you guys think, and share any links that I mentioned below. Please subscribe if you haven't. Below, ideas for future videos, comment, like, and I accept donations in Bitcoin, Ether, and Monero. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye. Crypto out.